Hey there, Dr. Rob, the car doctor, and the team down here at the car doctor shop. And today's behind the scenes video is a 2016 Jeep Patriot that unfortunately went to the dealership and they misdiagnosed it. And we make these videos to prevent these kinds of things from happening, educate customers, fellow technicians, shop owners on the best practices to eliminate this. So here's what we did a little bit different. So unfortunately, like I said, they had mentioned that the PCM needed to be replaced and it was a pretty expensive bill, and they basically told the customer that they would have to replace it and go from there. So here's a better process than that. So unfortunately, the customer, they took it home, they put an aftermarket PCM in it, still didn't start. So they started to replace some parts as well and did the camshaft sensors. Well, you know, much better approach is basically the best diagnostic practices that we follow, and I'd like to show other shops, is that, you know, get as much information from the customer as you can, and that's where I found out about the dealership and then the parts they replaced. And what we did here was we basically hooked up our scanner, and I can kind of see where it was difficult because there's no codes. It was a no codes diagnostics. But when I was going in to do my testing, I noticed that the crank sensor signal looked a little strange. So we started to focus on that, even though the computer was not setting a code. We went after the crank sensor and made sure that it had good powers and grounds and signals like that. Connections were good. And then after that, we went ahead and put in an OEM crankshaft sensor. I highly recommend OEM parts these days because aftermarket sensors can be questionable. So put the OEM sensor in there, cleaned up the connections, made sure the wiring was good, and the vehicle started. So that's kind of the behind the scenes case study here, is get all the information from the customer, you know, look at your scan data. If you're missing the fundamentals, then go after that. And this one was just a case of a bad crankshaft sensor, maybe some loose connections, things like that. We made sure those were tight when we put it together. So once again, we create these videos just to kind of share with the best practices and how you can find a good shop. And we are definitely here as the car doctor team to help out. So that's it with the 2016 Jeep Cherokee. 2016 Jeep Patriot. Crank sensor, connections, rescan, clear codes, and we also took it for a very long extended test drive. The problem is solved. So once again, another car doctor team victory here at the car doctor shop. Dr. Rob and the team, over and out. Take care.